Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Come Back Stronger by Facing Brooks Law Offices. My name is Jimmy Facing, and I'm here with my law partner, Dana Brooks.
Hey there.
And we are here to tell you or to show you some comeback stories that will hopefully inspire you and change your life. And today, we get the pleasure and privilege of presenting to you one of who I like to call the strongest man I know. And his name is Tim Mosley. And you know Tim, what do you think about Tim?
I love Tim. Big, warm, fuzzy, bear hug Tim. I love him. I love his energy. Everything he does is about making other people's lives better.
Oh, yeah.
His foundation, the Less Fortunate Still Matters Foundation, he started with no other reason than seeing a need. And I tell people he's a walking ministry. He's ministry in action.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so he may be fundraising for a cause. I mean, if there's hurricane relief, he's the first guy out there. If there's a school supply drive, first guy out there.
Yep.
Somebody needs some food, somebody's shut in, somebody needs, you know, whatever it is, your house burned down. This guy is boots on the ground every day.
Every single day.
And he is doing a lot of the good work a lot of people would want to do, but maybe don't have time to do.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you've got resources, he'll plan them. He's just like a machine of ministry of helping.
Yeah, 100%. You know what I love about Tim? This guy, he's got a real inner strength.
Yeah.
And he will never, ever leave a conversation without telling the person that he's talking to, I love you.
He does.
He says, I love you every single time.
Yeah.
And to me, that takes courage.
That matters.
That takes courage. That takes strength. And that's spreading an energy that we all need, that kind of strength and courage.
Yeah.
So I think he's a great example of a human being. I love to talk about him. I love to be with him. He's a great guy. I can't wait for y'all to get to know him even better.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll come back and we'll see the first segment of Kimmy Hogan's interview with him. And I can't wait for you to love him the way we do. I like that people who don't have the money to pay for lawyers, they can come to a contingency fee lawyer, someone like us who only gets paid when we recover for them, and they can go toe-to-toe with giants.
You are actually just coming to us, not paying us anything, and if we're successful in getting you money, we get paid. And the more money we get for you, the more money we get. So our interests are totally aligned.
And it's a wonderful system, because otherwise, how many people can afford to go hire a lawyer by the hour just so they can have their day in court?
Right.
That would be almost no one. That would mean justice is only available in America to rich people otherwise. But the contingency fee agreement allows everybody to go in on equal footing. It levels the playing field. But to me, it's saying we're equal. Okay, just because you have all those resources behind you doesn't mean I have to take whatever you give me. I've got a lawyer that I can afford who can stand up to you on the same playing field, equal ground in front of a judge, and I will get treated the same way those big corporations will be treated.
Welcome back to Come Back Stronger. We are about to see an interview with Tim Mosley by our law partner, Kimmy Hogan. So stay tuned.
Tim Mosley, my friend, the founder of the Less Fortunate Still Matters Foundation. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
We know that you are doing such good work for people here in Tallahassee through the Less Fortunate Still Matters Foundation, and we're going to talk all about that. But first, I want to jump into the tough stuff, the challenges in your life that you've overcome. And now you're doing such good work. So why don't you tell us about those challenges, the biggest challenges in your life?
The biggest challenge in my life, growing up as a kid, was having a limitation with my left arm and my right arm being normal. With those limitations, I don't like to say it scarred me, but it did hinder me sometimes with doing what I see normal kids do, like climbing trees, riding bicycles, just doing the normal daily routine stuff. But at the same time, I figured out I had to work with what I had. And in order to work with what I had, it was definitely challenging and difficult at times, but I had a great support system standing behind me. But the biggest challenge ever for me was when I was going through high school, and most of my family members were in the military already. I had in my mind that I was going to serve for our country. And as time gets closer to me being a senior, getting ready to graduate, I'll never forget it. 12th grade year, I went to a recruiter, and I sat down with the recruiter, and I told him what I wanted to do. And at that moment, I ran into a brick wall.
Yeah.
And when I say I ran into a brick wall, reality hit me and it set in. And this guy told me, he said, son, I would love to have you as a soldier. He said, but the military will not accept, and I'm not calling you no handicap, but a military will not accept a person with limitations such as yours. And when I tell you, when that guy told me that, I'll never forget it. I boo-hoo cried. The guy, he cried. And he said, son, I wish I had 100 more people like you to come into this office. He said, I've never had nobody driven so hard and wanting to do something so bad. And I told him, I said, yeah, this was my dream. And so my dad and my mom and everybody, I do believe they knew that I couldn't go to the military, but they let it stay in my head like I could, because if they had have told me I couldn't go to the military, my life would have really been over. I would have dropped out of school, no telling which dark path I would have taken. And so with that happened the way it did, it molded me and made me. But then I have to go out and I have to do a little more research on what I want to do, because applying for certain jobs, I was getting denied. I was being looked at like, you sure you can do this?
Yeah.
You sure you can do this? Questioning my ability to do the job, when I know that deep down inside I can do what I want to do. Because, hey, I'm Tim Mosley. That's just the way I think. And so I went and talked to the sheriff of Vance County. His name was Sheriff Thomas Breedlove. I'll never forget it. And I said, hey, I need a job. And he looked at me, he said, well, what do you want to do? I said, what do you have available? He said, why don't I start you off at the jail? I said, so you offer me a job? He said, why not? And I said, so you're not going to do me like everybody else been doing me, huh? He was like what? He said, I see a human being. I see somebody that's capable of doing the job better than somebody else with 2 good arms, 2 good legs, blah, blah, blah. So we laughed, and he said, well, you need to report to Vance Graham Community College. You got to go to class, and you got to go through training. And he said, I'm pushing and I'm rooting for you, because I know you can do it. And lo and behold, I went to the academy. I passed it. 2 in my class, number 2 out of 15 people.
Wow.
I made the cut. And that right there just gave me back everything I lost. It gave me hope. It gave me courage. It let me know that, hey, it's good people out here that are willing to give you exactly what you need in life to be successful. And that's a chance. And so he gave me that opportunity. I worked in the jail, started doing transporting, started taking people to court, started doing overnight road driving, taking inmates to different places, dropping them off, bringing them back. So working with the sheriff department, it gave me a light that I had lost. And so to that Sheriff Thomas Breedlove, God bless his soul, he's dead and gone, but He gave me the opportunity to prove that I can do what I said, what I want to do. And I'll never forget that moment.
Life-changing. When we come back from commercial break, we're going to talk about all the lives that you've been changing now with your foundation.
Oh my gosh, I love him.
Yeah.
What I love about what he just said was this man wanted to serve.
Yeah.
And guess what he does now?
He serves.
He serves.
He serves every day,
He
all
serves
day.
in a big way. And you know what he does? He takes that one good arm and he cooks hamburgers and hot dogs. He's flipping burgers. He's making chicken on the grill for homeless people,
Yes,
for
he
hungry
is.
people. That's the kind of guy he is. He said, I got to use what I got and I want to serve. I love this guy.
Yeah.
I absolutely love him. All right, well, we're going to be back after this.
When you come into my firm, you see a lot of faces that look like yours. You see a lot of people that had the same problem before they got to work. You know, a lot of people who left kids with mismatched shoes and a lunch bag, you screaming, just because you had an appointment you had to make. We get you. We get you.
You have to go to a lawyer that will understand your story as a woman. Because women have different stories than men do, and that's just a fact of life. And if you're a woman that's been injured, either through a slip and fall or a trip and fall in an auto accident, you have to go to a lawyer that's going to understand what your daily existence was like before, what it's like now, what the injury means to your entire family, and what you need to do to come back and be where you were before, and even come back and be stronger than where you were before. They just need to have the courage to pick up the phone, because we are going to take the burden of this accident or you being hurt off of your shoulders. We're going to put it on our shoulders, so you don't have to worry about it. Exactly. You can worry about everything else in your life, but not this accident. We're going to worry about that for you.
Welcome back to Facing Brooks' Comeback Stronger. We are in the process of interviewing one of my favorite people in the world, Mr. Tim Mosley. So stay tuned. Here's the second part of the interview.
So Tim, what is the Less Fortunate Still Matters Foundation?
The Less Fortunate Still Matters Foundation is a foundation built off of hope, love, and just helping people that are deeply in need. And basically what we do is go to the people that don't nobody want to go to or deal with. And so we go and just make sure these people has what they need in order to survive.
How did you decide to start the Less Fortunate Still Matters Foundation?
Well, we was actually running a summer camp over at Jacob Chapter Baptist Church, me and my big brother Willie Brown, and we had sandwiches left over, and we had to do something with those sandwiches, and we could not throw all those sandwiches and candy and apples and all that stuff away. So we took it upon ourselves to go and feed the less fortunate over in Frenchtown. And it just, a light turned on from that point with us.
So you went over there and you saw a need.
Yes.
And then you felt a spark in your heart. Hey, I got to keep doing this. I got to keep helping.
Absolutely.
So it started from leftover sandwiches, and then how did it grow from there?
Well, we started with leftover foods that was given to us through the summer camp. And then I just seen a need to where we had to make it grow. And so I went and I started asking Walmart, Target, Publix, and all our local businesses in Tallahassee, will they be willing to help? And those guys, they stepped up to the plate and they joined in, and it just started growing overnight.
You know, that I'm not surprised that you had success with that, because you have such a caring, genuine energy. You know, I meet you and I go, oh, I want to help you help other people.
Yes, ma'am.
So I can see how you are successful in getting big companies like that to throw in and help out where there's need. I think that's awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
I think that's awesome. So, you know, I want to talk a little bit more about your journey, because you grew up, you had an idea of what you wanted to do, you ran into the brick wall, and then you pivoted. Did you ever think you'd end up running your own foundation helping so many people out?
I'm going to be honest with you. I never could have imagined that I would be doing what I'm doing right now. I knew I love helping people. I've always had the heart to give and just help anybody along the way. But as far as being at this point in life, with the multitude of people and businesses that stands behind us, I never could have imagined this.
So what advice do you have for kids, maybe some kids that are watching this, who have a dream and then that dream just gets shot down?
I would say to kids that are, I don't like to say handicapped or just limited to certain things in life, what I would say is don't give up. Keep praying, keep having faith, and don't take no for an answer. It's somebody out there for everybody, just like it was for me. It's an opportunity, and it's knocking, and you have to go and find that opportunity. You have to want it. But the most biggest and precious thing ever in life is just not giving up. Keep fighting. Keep trying. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I feel that. I love it. I love it. So what things are you doing right now in your foundation?
Right now, we're working on some different programs, and we running out of space big time. I'm looking for a facility to start housing food and to hopefully start doing a distribution. But honestly, my goal is to have a facility where we can run programs and help those people that are on the street. Give them an opportunity to learn a trade. Give them an opportunity to just be great. Encourage them. Show them that we love them. And just bridge that gap between society and doing what's right for people. And so we got a lot going on, and our biggest thing right now is making sure we get food in places that are needed. So far this year, I looked at yesterday, it was 13 pallets that we've delivered since January. So I picked up 2 more pallets today, so it's 15 pallets of food that has been delivered in the surrounding counties now, 75 miles outside of Leon County.
Nice.
And inside Leon County that we have delivered food to. And so that saves a lot. Mm-hmm. We're doing the work, and we're getting food to the people that are in need in these rural areas.
So if people who are watching us right now on TV want to help out, is there a website that they can go to or a Facebook group that they can follow for The Less Fortunate Still Matters?
Yes, ma'am. The LessFortunatestillMatter.org. And you can go and look at our website. You can donate that away. We are on Facebook, and we do have a Twitter account and an Instagram account, but I haven't really gotten up to speed working those two accounts. I'm a Facebook professional right now.
Yeah, I don't even know how Twitter works, so.
Well, I know how it works, but I haven't used this as much as I use Facebook. Yeah. Facebook is our #1 tool that we use to promote and show the world what we do and who helps us.
Well, The Less Fortunate Still Matter. I love your organization. We love you. Thank you so much for coming on and talking with me.
Listen, if it won't for Fasek and Brook Law Firm, we wouldn't be where we at. You guys started with us out the back of my trunk, and all I can say is I love you guys, and any type of way I can help this firm, I will.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Oh, we love him too.
What did I tell you though? He never finishes a conversation without saying "I love you."
Yeah, you could tell he means it.
And he means it from the heart. That is so cool.
Love me some Tim Mosley.
So what was your big takeaway?
Oh, there's so many. There's so many. Again, it could be everything from that one person, that one catalyst, that one individual. A lot of times
Sheriff
law
Breedlove.
enforcement. Sheriff Breedlove.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot to unpack on that. The people who encouraged him when he needed it the most, and what he was able to do, and how he took that positivity and put it back out in the world.
Yeah, well, we're going to unpack all that when we come back right after this.
This is the most rewarding job. I tell people, anybody knows about me in my past, I was a social worker, and I loved the spirit of the job. I loved the mission, but I felt like I couldn't do as much for them as I wanted to do. You meet your client where they are. You know, you meet them where they are, not where you want them to be, not where you want them to get it together and come into your lovely office and act appropriately. You know, sometimes I have to go to your house so you can be real, so you can show me, so you can break down. I don't mind doing that. That's part of the process. But the more I can do that, the more you do feel better. And like you can be somebody who can go into any office at any time and maintain your composure, because you were able to be as vulnerable as you needed to be with somebody that you needed to trust to get you through this. And once I do that and I get them on the other side of it, it finally occurs to them, it's like a light bulb goes off. It finally occurs to them that Dana didn't do this. I did this. I got myself here.
Welcome back to Facing Brooks' Comeback Stronger. We're talking about Tim Mosley. We just had the privilege of watching his interview. I got to tell you, Tim Mosley, when I look at him, when I hear him talk and I see him face to face, I just see an example of the kind of human being that if everybody was like him, this world would be an absolute paradise.
You are so right.
Yeah.
And you know what I think of when I think about you know, how we think about charity and what we think about the government's role in it. You know, so many people, you hear all the time, you know, people are too dependent on the government. You know, you got to take care of your own problems without asking the government to take care of them. That's exactly what people like Tim are doing. They're saying, you know, I don't care about your qualifications and your poverty level.
Right.
I can see you have a need, and I can help meet it. So I don't care about your red tape. I don't care about all that kind of stuff. I just want to help you. And if you don't have the ability to go ask for it, I'm going to ask for it. And that's something else I want to talk about, is the power of just asking. I tell people this when I mentor them all the time. You would be surprised how few times people tell you no. If you just ask, a lot of times they will say yes.
Make the ask.
And maybe you don't get all what you want, you get something better. Maybe you get a part of it and that helps you. But just ask, and it doesn't mean expect charity. That's not what we're talking about, although it's good to be charitable. But when I say ask, realize that you may have an idea like Tim did. Let me go ask and see if Walmart, Publix, Target, Winn-Dixie, let me see if they can help me feed these people. Let's work it out.
So one of the other takeaways that I got is that this is how life works, I think, sometimes, is that Tim had something in his mind. He wanted to serve in the military. That was a big deal to him. But then he hit that brick wall. And so I think that sometimes life guides us by those brick walls that we hit so that we go on the path that was most meant for us. Because when you look at Tim's life these days, and one of the things I love about him is he never has to worry about money. He doesn't have to worry about feeding his family. Because he's got people that are taking care of him, because he's taking care of so many people. And so, so his path, if he had gone into the military, he would have served in that way, and that's fantastic. He would have loved that. But he's decided he went a different way, and now he feels like, I think he feels like he's making an even bigger difference with what he's doing, literally feeding the hungry every single day. I mean, it's a big deal for me. So I got to tell you, what a great human being.
Well, I think his motivation comes from the military, wanting to be in the military, and what he does now. It's a sense of honor, and it's a sense of service, and a sense of duty and obligation to give to other people. And again, he could have decided, whenever he got his goal crushed and his dreams crushed by this information from the recruiter, he could have just said, oh, I guess that's it for me. I guess I'm a ruined person. I guess I'm damaged, and I don't get that life. And thank goodness that was another good person, this recruiter, who didn't say, well, you're handicapped. We don't want you. Nobody's going to want you. That's just the way it goes. He didn't. He just said, You can do all kind of things because
Yeah.
you're a great guy. I wish I had 1,000,000 guys coming in
Yeah.
here like you. But you just can't do this. That's all. So, I mean, I think the takeaway that he got from that, because of the encouragement from that recruiter, helped him say, okay, it's not going to look like this.
Yeah.
But I can serve with honor and help a lot of people in a different capacity. I love that. This sheriff believing in him. Boy, you know, sheriffs and law enforcement, they get such a bad rap because the bad ones stick out so badly.
Yeah.
And the good ones, they fade into the background and you don't know about it. But yeah, it's just amazing to me what he was able to do given what he was told his limitations were. He just didn't accept them and he had some good help along the way.
He sure did. And that's one of the common elements of a comeback story. And we're always talking about comeback stories, is somebody shows some kindness to somebody who has been put down or beat down or has run into a brick wall like Tim. And we see that in almost every single time. And so it just says that whenever you do an act of kindness, you might not even realize how you're changing this person's life and how you're changing the life of so many people. Because Tim could have gone and he said he could have gone to dark places.
Yeah.
He could have felt sorry for himself. He's got one good arm. He's not going to get in the military. A lot of people would have gone in the wrong direction.
They sure would have.
But because Sheriff Breedlove showed him the kindness and showed him the light, then he ended up taking that energy and that power and helping all these people.
Yeah,
I love that.
And it never hasn't been needed more. You
Yeah.
know, he's talking about taking food and feeding people well outside, you know, the hub of the city here. And think about how many children have missed food simply from not being in school. School meals provide a lot of nutrition to a lot of children. So he's filling a lot of gaps and he's going out of his way to do it. But I'm just so glad that he has a servant's heart and he finds the motivation to do it every single day.
That brings me to I think probably the most important point about this whole thing is be like Tim Mosley and
Be like
allow yourself to be vulnerable and to love people that you serve. Love your neighbor, love your friends. That's what it's all about.
That's right.
That's what this Comeback Stronger show is all about. We love you guys. We will look forward to seeing you on the very next episode.
Yeah, and if you have good Comeback Stronger stories, send them to us. We'd like to see them. Their life has been changed, and this is for real. And so many times it could be a very intimate part of a man's life. You know, something that they don't even want anyone to know they're experiencing, much less do they want to share how it's affecting them. It even feels worse when you don't stand up for yourself. Because you know you can't stand up for yourself among these lawyers and these insurance companies because it's not your area. You don't know. So a lot of times, instead of seeking help, especially maybe from a woman, they just take it, and then that eats on you. You know, people don't lead with their weaknesses, but that doesn't mean they don't exist, and it doesn't mean they don't deserve fair compensation for them whenever those weaknesses and those injuries are caused by somebody else just not paying attention and being careless. That is not your responsibility, it is the careless person's responsibility. And making that person honor their word and honor their commitment to you, that's not weakness at all. That is strength. That is doing the right thing for yourself and for your family so you can walk with a straight back and your kids can look up to you and say, that's my daddy, he takes care of us.